If you've been watching Western Arizona's real estate, you've probably heard Bullhead City and Fort Mohave mentioned together. And that makes a lot of sense because they share the same highway and the same river corridor. But over the last few years, these two markets have told very different stories. And today, we're going to be breaking down the numbers on the sales prices, the closed volume, and more, while layering some of those lifestyle pieces, because who buys where matters just as much as what the market is doing. Hi, I'm Amy Pierce with Keller Williams Arizona Living Realty, and I help clients relocate, purchase second homes, invest, and sell right here in Bullhead City, Fort Mohave, and the surrounding areas of Mohave County, Arizona. So whether you are thinking about buying, selling, or just watching what's happening out here, you're in the right place. Let's talk about these two communities and what the data is really telling us. Bullhead City is an incorporated city sitting along the Colorado River directly across from Laughlin, Nevada. It has Highway 68, which runs on the north edge of the area, and it connects you towards Las Vegas, Golden Valley, and the Kingman area. Bullhead City is a commercial and entertainment hub in this entire corridor. Western Arizona Regional Medical Center is here, along with big box retail, car dealerships, national and local dining, and pretty much everything else that you'll need for large home improvements or just a full day of shopping. So Fort Mohave sits on the south side of the corridor along Highway 95, and it's unincorporated, which means that it falls under Mohave County governance. And that means no city taxes, which is a real draw for a lot of buyers. Fort Mohave also has its own full-service hospital, Valley View Medical Center, right on Highway 95. For everyday needs, Fort Mohave has grocery stores like Safeway and Smith's and a Supercenter for Walmart. There is also local hardware stores for your day-to-day projects, but if you're talking major renovation, you'll be making a drive to Bullhead City for the big box stores. So think of it this way. Bullhead City is the pulse of the area, while Fort Mohave allows you a little bit more room to breathe. So this is where the two cities start to diverge, and it matters when you're thinking about investment, resale, or long-term demand. Bullhead City has a population of 44,000 full-time residents and is growing about 1% annually. The median age is 56, and roughly 1 in every 3 residents is 65 years or older. This is a well-established retirement and snowbird community. The mild winters, the river, and the adjacency to Laughlin entertainment makes it a consistent magnet for seasonal residents from colder states. There is also a strong buyer profile here from other states who have transplanted, who want a lifestyle and a lower cost of living than where they left behind. And Fort Mohave is a smaller community of about 16,000 residents with a median age of 60. It skews to buyers who want newer construction, more land, and a quieter environment without giving up medical access or grocery conveniences. Golf community living is also a big part of the lifestyle in Fort Mohave. So let's talk about where the prices have gone over the last 3 years. In Fort Mohave, a single-family priced home has moved in one direction, and that is up. In 2024, the median price was $350,000, and in 2025, it edged up to $360,000, and year to date in 2026, it's sitting at $368,000. That's a steady, consistent appreciation with no meaningful pullback. When you break it down further, the previously owned home segment, which does not include new construction, had a dip in 2025, but it came back roaring in 2026 with a gain of nearly 11% so far this year. And new construction in Fort Mohave has held the highest at the high 380,000s to the low 390,000 range, and builders are largely holding their prices. In Bullhead City, the story is more nuanced. Prices have climbed from around $330,000 in 2024 to roughly $337,000 in 2025, a solid year. But in 2026, it's brought a correction with the overall median price back down to $317,000. Previously owned homes particularly were strong in 2025, peaked at $350,000, but since have come down to $325,000. And new construction in the city has dipped in 2025 and recovering in 2026. The headline here is that Fort Mohave prices are at their highest point in this 3-year window. Bullhead City's prices are correcting after a strong 2025, and depending upon whether you are buying or selling, that correction tells a very different story. When you look at what the buyers have actually been paying for dollars per square foot, the two markets have actually been remarkably close to each other throughout the entire period, both hovering around $210 to $225 range. But the direction each market is trending tells us something important. Fort Mohave dipped slightly in 2025 and is fully recovered back to where it had started, and Bullhead City has seen a gradual slow decline across all 3 years. The gap between them is modest right now, but it is widening, and that reflects the same dynamic that we are seeing in the overall price data. Fort Mojave's holding value and Bullhead City has given a little bit back. Volume-wise, Bullhead City is the larger market, consistently closing somewhere between 60 and 100 homes per month over this period, with new construction making a meaningful portion of those active listings. But the bigger story is the inventory. The active single-family home listing has gone from around 125 homes in early 2023 to approximately 280 homes by spring of 2026, more than double. The supply is the primary reason that prices have softened and giving buyers some negotiation power back right now. Fort Mohave moves tighter with 30 to 50 homes per month, with new construction contributing to a steady share of those closings. Inventory grew through 2024, peaked around 145 homes, and has since pulled back into roughly around 125, a much more contained supply picture. This tighter inventory is a significant reason Fort Mojave's prices have held and strengthened. So what does all this actually mean if you're thinking about making a move to this area? If you are a buyer looking for Bullhead City right now, this is generally one of the better windows we have seen in a few years. Inventory is up, some sellers are more motivated, and prices have come off their 2025 peak. The lifestyle is still here: the river, the entertainment, established community services, and the warm winters. You are just getting a better entry point than buyers had 12 months ago. If you're a buyer looking at Fort Mohave, you're going to have fewer homes to choose from, and you will pay a slight premium. But the data shows that the premium is being rewarded with consistent appreciation. The previously owned market just posted its strongest year-over-year gain in 3 years. New construction is active and holding price, and the lifestyle combination of newer homes, larger lots, no city tax, full hospital access, and a quieter community is a package that continues to attract buyers. For sellers, the conversation is different depending upon which community you're in. For Fort Mohave, the data supports pricing at or near current market heights. In Bullhead City, the honest conversation is 2025 peak pricing does not apply in spring of 2026. But there is still an active buyer pool, and with the right strategy and the right price, homes are still moving. Both of these communities have genuine appeal, and if you want to know exactly where your property fits, or you are trying to figure out which side of the corridor makes the most sense to you, scan the QR code or click the link in the comments below and book a call with me. And if this information was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my weekly videos about real estate and life along the Colorado River. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.